Hi Taurus, this is Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. I am in Carmel, Indiana. I am a Libra Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, what I normally do is let flip, fly, or fall anywhere from 5 to 7 tarot cards. Take a look at that. Are we looking at life, love, career, or health? And then clarify with various oracle decks. And that one wanted to come out. So I got a bunch of stuff coming out here. Okay, let's stop here for a second, see where we're at. So High Priestess, Queen of Wands, Temperance in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So this is definitely something about moving on and money and not getting balance back. The High Priestess to me is looking at that from a very spiritual type of thing. The Queen of Wands would definitely be moving forward, but since we've got Temperance in the reverse, that's a out of balance card, and then we've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, the the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So, so that makes me feel like you have decided to move forward from something. Something is out of balance, and and what it feels like is like maybe you loaned somebody some money, and you have been waiting for them to pay you back for a while, and you have finally realized that you are never going to get this money back, and you need to just move forward because it feels like you have kind of talked until you're blue in the face. You have they have made promises that they're like, well, I'll pay you back next week, I'll pay you at the end of the month, I'll pay you when I get this, I'll pay you when this happens, I'll pay you when this happens, and it's just never coming. So it feels like you finally have given up on that because you realized it was causing you a lot of stress and anxiety, being angry at them. And I feel like you finally decided that maybe it was time for you to take responsibility in your part in this, and that you were enabling somebody that you knew better. You knew better that you should not be helping this person out because you were never going to get that money back. And you were like, oh, you know, maybe they've changed and maybe this time it will be okay. So whatever the case is, if that is a money issue, it could be a money issue. It could be a job. Someone's been saying to you, I'm going to give you this job. I'm going to give you this job. You're going to get this work. And you finally were like on pause for a while, and you have finally decided I'm moving on. I'm like tired of waiting. So that's the feeling, is you gave up the dream of either ever getting this job, or you gave up the dream of ever getting that money back. Whatever the case is, if you were expecting money from somebody or something that was going to put money in your bank account, you have finally decided that you're letting that go. It feels like you released that anger, that frustration, the irritation, all of the things that you had been feeling because it was just kind of like making you grumpy, and you finally looked at it from a different perspective. Okay, that definitely feels right. So let's see what emotions you are currently feeling about this and get some more clarity about the whole situation. And you know, when I got myself in a bind back in 2008, you know, 2009, 10, God, you know what? I was in a bind for so long there for a while that I did borrow money from people, but I finally got them paid back last year, something like that. So, okay, so I've got a bunch of cards that just fell out. Resistant. I feel like that was, you had been resistant to changing your way of thinking about it because you kept hanging on to that. It was like you were hanging on, but I also feel like maybe you were a little bit shy about putting your foot down and cutting them out of your life is the feeling. It's kind of like there were times that you were like, I'm never going to talk to them again, but you this was all up in your head, and you were never doing that in person, kind of like, I'm never going to talk to you again, we're over or whatever. And you finally decided that you were just, I feel like you just were like, I'm just going to trust that if I'm ever going to get this money back, it's going to happen in divine timing. I will need it in 6 years, just like I needed it yesterday. And so you have finally let go of the anxiety and the angst that came along with you not getting paid back on time like you thought you were going to be. And I feel like that was because you were feeling very unempowered. You didn't like the way it was making you feel. It was, like I said, it was making you feel very anxious and aggravated and irritated. And you were like, I don't want to be that way. Oh, irritated. And the irritated card came up. You were feeling that way, and you're like, I don't want to feel that way anymore. I want to move past this. So either you are going to move past that, or you have moved that. I'm not sure. It depends on when you've watched this, but that's what's going to happen. It's kind of like you've been resistant. I feel like I feel like I was talking about how you will feel afterwards. So maybe at this point in time, you haven't switched or flipped the switch in your head of, I'm just going to give this up. So maybe I've been saying this wrong, but take it however it resonates. You were resistant about changing the way you were thinking about it, and you were blaming the other person for a long, long time, but you were not realizing that you kind of played a part in that. It was like you did something, you thought you were being a nice guy, gal, doing a favor for somebody, and they let you down, and it also feels like it's just, there's this feeling inside of you. It's just like, one more person that's let me down, one more person that's let me down. I can't trust anybody. And you took this whole thing personally of them not paying you back on time or giving you the job like they promised you, or whatever the case is. So it did affect your self-esteem some. It's like, I feel like I'm hearing this conversation. Well, if our friendship meant anything to them, then they would have paid me back like they said they were going to. And you like really, this person either has a gambling addiction, or they lost their job, or they fell on hard times. Maybe they've got a drinking problem, and they have, whoever this is that you were trying to help has some major crisis moments going on, and they are in survival mode. And you are taking it personally because they are grasping at any little straw to rewrite themselves, and you were just one of the persons that they were grabbing at to rewrite themselves, and they still have not rewrited themselves up into a position of where they can see straight. Don't take that personally. It's not your fault that they got themselves into this. Yes, you tried to help them. Yes, that was a good thing. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, or there's any worthlessness that's going on here because they were not able to pay you back or do what they promised. Don't take it personally. It feels like you, like I said, it felt like a case of like, well, if our friendship meant anything to them, they would have paid me back like they promised. And you need to get over that, because you're talking about somebody that is scrambling. That's the word I feel like I want to say. They are scrambling to rewrite themselves from a major faceplant in the ground, regardless of how it happened, whether it was they caused it themselves or they lost their job or whatever the case is. Don't take this personally. Do I want any more of these? No, I don't want any more of those. All right, so okay, so in order for you to move forward, you need to let go of balancing the scales. I was going to say these are your blocks. So what's coming up are the blocks that you need to let go of so you can move into a more peaceful situation. And that already came up in the Temperance card, is like it's out of balance. Somebody owes something to you and you guys are out of balance and you need to let that go, that balancing the scales right now. That person is not capable of balancing the scales right now, and you need to get over the fact that, you know, I'll feel fine once they pay me back. Well, you know, maybe, but you know, there's still another aspect of here that's a learning lesson for you. So let's see what that is. There's still another aspect that's a learning lesson for you. I love when cards do that. So this is about a learning lesson for you. This is about not taking things personally when somebody doesn't do what they say they're going to do. This doesn't have anything to do with you. I feel like I want that card though. Self-worth. See, I said this was about self-worth issues. This was about you being bent out of shape because you were like, well, if I meant anything to them, they wouldn't have done this to me. This does not have anything to do with you. This was a lesson that was brought up to yourself for you to bring up, see something inside of, and let it go. And if you haven't gotten there to that point, you will. But this is what is happening or cropping up for you to let go and realize that don't take it personally when somebody does something that you feel like, oh my God, that is so unfair. There's one that's flipped around here. Okay, so in this case, I feel like that's be the observer in a play. So this person that did this to you, think of it like this. You guys are in a play. He or she is playing the part that they are supposed to play. They are playing their part exactly the way they are supposed to. They are playing the part of the victim. Oh, woe is me. My life is so tough, blah, 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 blah. And you are playing the part that you are supposed to be playing. The rescuer, well, I'm going to help them out, and then that's going to make my ego feel better, and blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever it is that you thought you were going to get by helping this person out, you thought you were going to receive something out of this besides payback of money. You thought you were going to get accolades. You thought that you were going to... It feels like there was a major ego thing. If the pride and ego card flips out, I'm like, will not be shocked. So what's another lesson that was to be learned from this whole situation? I feel like I want that one. When I see the barrier card, it always feels like there's a barrier around my heart or a barrier around that heart. And that feels like this whole situation has made you want to go and lock up again and do that. I can't trust anybody. I can't trust anybody. I can't trust anybody. Well, if you put yourself in positions where people let you down and you take it personally, it's yourself that can't be trusted. It's kind of a case of, I can't trust how I'm going to react when people are being themselves. People are going to be themselves regardless of what. And you having control over that isn't going to make any difference whatsoever. So let's get another card or two about what. There's two. Offer. Okay, so let me think about this. So okay, so they made you an offer and it wasn't good enough. Let me think about that. So what do you need to let go of? You need to let go of, it feels like like I said, this could be a job offer or a friend that borrowed something, money, material things, whatever the case is. They made an offer and you refused it because it wasn't good enough. And it was kind of like they wanted to go, I'll pay you $10 a week until I'm paid in full. And you turned it down, or they made you an offer that was maybe a lowball offer. Maybe you have your house up for sale and a lowball offer came in, and it was like, it made you mad because you took personal offense to this. It's all about whatever their offer was. If it was an offer, you took personal offense because it was lowball, and it like messed with, like I said, it messed with your self-worth and healing. So that makes me feel like you've got some heart chakra things that need to be healed around this whole thing, and not be taking your lack of self-worth, it's just, I hope you're getting what I'm saying. It's kind of like your lack of self-worth is what the problem is here. It's like you're just taking such personal offense to this. I want to use these as the last cards from the universe about this situation. What are last cards from the universe? Wave of power, a surge of power, upswing in energy, exhilarating movement. And I feel like that's what is coming once you release this being resistant to however that, just let it play out how it's going to play out. And quit holding on and quit, judging them for not doing what they said they did. Like I said, I feel like this person, whatever is going on, and you may not see the full picture. You are only seeing the top or the tip of the iceberg, and whatever is going on underneath the surface of this whole thing, it's like you're not seeing the full picture. And you need to give up the dream of seeing the whole picture. You may never see the whole picture of exactly what's going on. Like I said, if this person is someone that gambles, you may not know that they are $50,000 in debt, gambling debt. Maybe they haven't told you this. Dreams, vivid dreaming, dream messages, dream teaching. So this makes me feel like you've been having dreams about this whole thing. And maybe your guides have been trying to tell you things through dreams, and you're like not getting it. Or either that, or pay attention to what's coming through in your dreams, because there's some lessons or messages coming through your dreams about this whole thing. Freedom, independence, and self-determination. I feel like freedom is the key word here, is if you let go of this resistance, that you will have freedom of the anxiety, like the lesson that will be learned here. I don't want these cards. Let me get, here, let's do this. Let me get a couple more of these cards. Forgiveness heals. Forgive yourself and others. Let go of the old story. Release any guilt and blame. This matches exactly with what I've been saying. Everyone is doing the best they can. This includes you. Kickstart the healing process by surrendering all the judgment and hurt. Your health and happiness will thank you. Yeah, man, I feel like you've been losing sleep over this. It's been, like I said, it was making you angry and irritated and grumpy and grouchy. And, maybe you didn't tell your spouse that you loaned this person some money, and your spouse is like, where'd that $3,000 go? And you're like, okay, accept yourself. While there's a time and place for self-improvement, today's focus is on everything that's already great about you. Let go of who you think you should be and fall madly in love with who you are in this moment. When you accept yourself exactly as you are, you shift from living for tomorrow to accepting today. Accept yourself, sweetheart. So I feel like you've been kind of really mad at yourself for, I feel like you feel duped. Like you believed them, you had faith in them, like you thought this time was going to be different, and it was not different. And so there was a whole learning lesson that came through here of, I also feel like you perhaps knew deep down in your intuition you should not have done that. And you were trying to be the good guy or the good gal or whatever, and it backfired on you. Don't beat yourself up. You know what? I bet it doesn't happen again, though. it's like it's a matter of starting to trust your intuition and knowing what's right for you, and knowing when, that's just, sometimes that happens. You knew you shouldn't have done that, or believed them, or trusted them, or whatever, and you did. And it's kind of like it was a major learning lesson. So I'm going to leave this here, and I will see you guys middle of June. Bye.